Sometimes you have to destroy something in order to build something better. Sometimes when you have a vision, it doesn't always go to plan, but that's okay. And that's how I felt with Palm Island. It's undeniable that Palm Island is beautiful, but it just doesn't feel right. This has led to me having creator's block, not knowing what to build next. And that's why I'm going to destroy most of the island and start over. I want to build a Spanish colonial inspired town, the old capital of our island, mixed in with other styles from around the world. Old buildings, luxury villas, government properties and much more, but we need to focus on the details too. And I want to build that old town, just kind of where our current town is. We'll have the old sort of styles here, and then over on the other side of the ferry port, we'll use our modern buildings, our new architecture, our real tourist magnets. So that's what we're going to do, but don't worry, I'll keep the old save, so if we hate it we can always go back. This probably comes as a bit of a shock to everybody really. I have been radio silent, and it's not because I've got creator's block, it's because I've been extremely busy. But this is Palm Island, our lovely looking island. It's really, really good, but I just kind of had an idea. I love this ferry port, I think this is great. I don't have an issue with this at all. I think this is perfect for what we kind of need. My issue is down here, and it looks great. I'm not going to deny that it's not beautiful, because it is, and I'm really happy with how it looks, but there's just things about it that for me it's not my style, and the reason I say that is it just looks a bit of a mess. The grid is all over the place, the roads are not curved very well, there's not much density, and there's a lot of repetitive buildings, and it's just not taking my fancy. Every time I come back over I'm like, oh, it's not perfect, and that's the problem. I try to make everything perfect and it eats me up from the inside, as you can see. But here we are, that's life, and we're going to change it. So what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be taking up and destroying most of this town, just this town. We're going to keep the ferry port because I quite like it. We'll keep kind of most of the road sort of layout, especially along this water side, which is quite nice. The airport, I got a bit of stick for the airport, and not going to lie, rightly so. It's too small for some of the planes that we're bringing in. It just doesn't look quite right. So that's going to go as well, and we're going to actually change the airport to something bigger, something better. So yeah, we've got a lot of plans, and I know a lot of you are going to hate this and get very upset with me, but you're just going to have to hear me out. And if we don't like it, we'll simply revert back to our old save. And same with the trains. I think the trains are a bit overkill. You've said it in the comments, and I've listened. Trains are too big for this small island. The airport doesn't work. I get it. And let's try again, shall we? So, without further ado, say goodbye. And hopefully, when you next see me, we'll have a fresh, empty space to build on. Bang! There we have it. Empty space. All ready for us to, hopefully, make some good progress on and make it look a little better than before. But with that, it takes time, doesn't it? It takes time. So, as you can see, we've still got our ferry port left over, which is great. I really do like this. I might end up doing some adjustments, but let me tell you the vision. This area here is going to be our old style town. In fact, I'll give you some inspiration so you know what's going to come next. So I'm thinking kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, but like this Spanish colonial style building, stuff like these, for this kind of section, this little town here, I think it would look great to have kind of that sort of theme here. Kind of reminiscence of maybe an old capital city or old main town where the government and the other things would operate. And then we'll build that up kind of in that theme. And then over this side is the new. This is where the modern, this is the big tourism district, where the modern buildings, the taller buildings and all that stuff will be. We're talking shopping malls, big parks, tourist attractions, busy beach, all that good stuff. But this is kind of our original. our place that was here first, and we're trying to rebuild that and stay true to the island's values, and that's kind of what we're going for. You'll see that I've changed quite a bit. The beach is slightly different. I might try and, as much as I think these new tools are really good for brushing, I don't like the colour of the sand. It just looks meh, doesn't it? It just looks a bit meh. But nevertheless, it looks cool. And you might have noticed there are some tram tracks, so we might be getting some trams. You'll notice that I've changed this slightly. It's kind of at a different angle, and you'll notice that the airport and stuff is completely gone. But with the airport, my inspiration is, well, basically most islands with limited space, they tend to reclaim a bit of land for their runway, and that's what we'll be doing as well. So no issues there at all. What are these? Are these bushes? They are bushes. Let's get rid of said bushes. We don't want you here anymore. Oh no, there's people stuck. Oh, bless you. What are you floating? Where were you for you to be up there? Very interesting. But you get the gist of it. So what I might do first is I might actually see if I can change the colour of this sand to make it look a little bit nicer, because I don't really like it at the moment. So I'll do that, and then we'll actually get along with building. Okay, I would suggest that this colour's a little bit nicer. You can see the ripples in the sand, which is great. I think it's just a nicer, kind of more golden colour than we had before. It's not a huge difference, but it is a difference. And I think now looks a little bit nicer. So I think we will settle with that. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Just a couple more details that you might notice. If you look very carefully, you'll see a shipwreck underneath the water down there. I think that's a pretty cool addition that I've added. It's just added a nice little effect. So yeah, I've added that little shipwreck, which is quite cool. There were some other decals with like fish and stuff, but I think they were just too bright and overwhelming for us, so I decided against using them. But nevertheless, I think that's just a nice little addition. Yes, right, anyway, let's figure out a plan of building, shall we? So this road here is going to be the main road that goes towards the airport. This area, you might remember, it was a bit of a hill. It's now flat, and it will go down to the airport that's down there. So that's going to be one of the main routes up. I still am going to try and get another subway station though this time, overground subway in here instead of the trains. I don't think we needed the trains. I think that was just a bit over the top. So that is fine, but first things first, I want to pick out some of the key main buildings for this area, so let's do that. So building number one is this absolutely stunning courthouse. I think it's Santa Barbara, correct me if I'm wrong, but wow, what an asset. Just look at that archway. Isn't that one of the most beautiful assets that you've seen? Incredible. And having this kind of right at the forefront is a nice corner asset, as you can see here. So as you're driving around, you can kind of take in the beautiful architecture that we've got going on here. Great bit of green space around it as well. I think it's just worthy of being kind of at the front, next to the beach, right on that kind of main strip. You'll notice more when we start building, but you actually do get pedestrians now walking and using the beach, as you can see, which is great. Good to see. But I think that is an absolutely stunning building, and it deserves to be right at the front here. And it kind of fits our theme as well. So I'm happy with that, and we're probably going to keep that probably around there, near enough. So there are actually a couple of upgrades, of course, because Welshman's on the case, so he is always giving us little extras. So this is the county courthouse. We can pretend it's whatever. We can pretend it's a hotel or whatever we want. But we have got a couple of upgrades. Court extension 2. So this one extends it out to the left, as you can see. And then this one extends it out to the rear / right. And I think we're going to add both of those because it just looks so fantastic, the asset itself. And having those extra pieces of architecture, it's kind of a no-brainer, really, isn't it? You kind of got to have it. But that is fantastic. And I know going from the old town to now looking at what we're looking at now, it's going to be probably a disappointment to some people. But you've just got to trust the process, I'm afraid. You've just got to trust the process. And now, on the edge of this lovely looking building, we're going to have another road which goes up. And there is a reason for that. Because we need a nice, grand sort of walkway slash entrance for our next building with a good view of the sea. So we're just going to draw that out like that. Hook that in there. We're going to get rid of all these traffic lights. We don't really need them for the time being. And we're just going to add that central divider again so that we don't get anybody parking there. Perfect. And then the next building that we want here is actually in the same section, I believe, which is the San Diego Administration Building, which I think would look really cool if we had it here, potentially nicely lined up if we can get it quite right. Just about there. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. That's quite a nice looking building. This one is by Darth. I think College Builder commissioned this asset. I think he's actually done quite a lot of commissioned assets, College Builder, which is great for us because it means that we get these awesome assets. So thank you, College Builder, and thank you, Darth, as well, of course. But that's quite a nice looking asset. It's quite a nice centerpiece as well. It's definitely think it kind of fits the theme of this being kind of the old government sort of style area slash building, so I'm quite happy with how that looks. We've kind of got to decide what we're going to do with these roads, because I like the way that it's a big road because it gives the building a little bit more presence and a better view because it's less obstructed. So we're just going to kind of leave it for now and we'll see how we get on from there. So the next building that we've gone for is this naval hospital, although we're going to pretend that it's not a naval hospital, even though it does definitely say naval hospital there. But we're going to pretend that it's maybe like a nicely renovated hotel. It used to be an old building, but now it's a nice hotel. And it just fits kind of the theme down here at the front. We've got some really beautiful architecture right by the sea here. So I think it kind of fits pretty well. It fits the gap. I've just extended the surfaces out slightly around the back, so we'll do a little bit of adjustments there. But it looks great. It's a great looking asset, which is fantastic. So I think that's looking pretty good. It's all fitting the theme relatively well. So we can't complain too much about that at all. We've just changed the surface colours slightly, and we're just going to add a few kind of nice bushes and flowers and stuff, hopefully within here. But now I look at it, those bushes are going to be slightly too large, aren't they? But we can certainly try other things, unless... I mean, we can make that smaller. But these ones are, it seems like they're only one sort of size, so we'll have to just kind of do our own thing. Will that bring it up a little bit? I mean, we got some of these nice bushes, so we should be able to hopefully build something that doesn't look too bad. But to begin with, maybe we should just go with some of these cultivated bushes. What are we thinking? 4? Sure, 4 will fit. Yeah, 4 will fit. And we'll just do that around basically all of these planters. And then pick something to go in the center as well. Because we want this to be quite nicely kept. I want it to be a nice area to walk around and relax. So, yeah, we're just going to try and decorate it just a little bit. So it gives that kind of vibe to it. Instead of just feeling empty and no reason for anybody to be here. So yeah. So out on the water's front next to our naval hospital, that's not a naval hospital, we've got this custom tram station, which will kind of be our central transport hub for, well, trams. As you can see, it looks really, really good. It's from PDX Mods, looks fantastic. I obviously made quite a lot of adjustments myself, such as all of these pathways with fencing around them. They're all custom made, same as all the trees and the plant pots, etc. All of these have invisible paths underneath them as well, so people will actually walk on them when we open this up. But it looks absolutely great. It looks really, really cool. Very nice addition to kind of the town as we kind of begin it. Once we have some trams running through here, it's going to look pretty cool. It's going to look really, really cool. But that's just a nice little addition. It's a unique sort of structure as well, which is great. It kind of sort of fits in our theme of, oh, what are you doing, geezer? Oh, mate, your beard is horrible. What the? Get away from that guy. But yeah, look at our structure. It looks pretty good. So I'm happy with that. I just need to figure out what I want to do with this space behind it. Just out the back here. So yeah, we're going to figure out what we're going to do there. We've got this custom bridge here as well that we've added in, which again looks pretty nice. Happy with that. And then all the tram tracks are all connecting up quite nicely. I've never actually used trams in my city, so I might just get this completely wrong and it might just look horrendous. But first time for everything, eh? We'll give it a go. We'll give it a go. I can't wait for this to start getting busy with people walking down these paths, though. That'll look very, very cool. So we've actually got the oldest bit of history in our town so far that we've just placed down here. This very old kind of church museum building. It was the only building that actually survived after the big disaster that struck the island many years ago. And it still remains here today, and it's actually been converted into a museum to kind of commemorate and remember what happened here many, many, many years ago. It looks great. It's a really beautiful looking building. It's nice and old. It certainly kind of fits our theme really well. The museum's right next to the tram station and its pathways, which is great. So I'm happy with that placement. What you will notice is basically every building roof is a different shade of red, or orange, whatever you look at it. But to be honest, I'm not that bothered. It's fine. It's no dramas. We're not going for like one specific theme. We're kind of mixing and matching them, but kind of having the focus on kind of like the Spanish colonial sort of idea. But it doesn't have to be that way. We just kind of mix and match whatever we think fits. And yeah, I think this looks all right actually at the moment. It's looking pretty decent. Plenty of kind of details in there, here and there. But obviously we've got loads to do, like absolutely loads and loads and loads, because we've already done what, 5 buildings? Damn, Daniel. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to try and get my station back in here, but a subway station this time. It might prove to be a little bit more difficult because of the differing stations and depending what kind of building we want. But we'll give it a go. We'll see how it ends up. And my plan is it's going to be elevated, and hopefully we can send the track kind of up this way somewhere towards the airport. So we'll try and fill in this gap here with that. Makes the coastline feel a little bit less empty. So we'll give that a go. I'm going to find one and then we'll go from there. So this one's going to prove to be a little bit more difficult than the last, just because of the station that we're using. We need a bit more space. So we're just going to trim back some of this land ever so slightly. And then hopefully we'll create enough space for us to actually be able to place it down. But the first thing that I'm going to do is I need a little road to come off it, and you'll understand why. Because, I mean, it just causes a bit of problems. So we'll just do maybe this. That'll kind of do for now. Hopefully we'll just see how that plays out. And we want this one, the elevated subway bypass station. And we want that. It's still being a bit weird. We want that connected just to our little road that we've made, but clearly it doesn't want to. Why do you not want to? Enlighten me. I mean, it does it like that. Okay. So we need to try and kind of get that in somewhat around there. It's because this parking underneath, it's a little bit annoying, the parking, just for what we're trying to do. I'm not really sure if there's much that we can do about it, though. That's the only problem. Let's just draw that back even further so that we have as much room as we possibly need. And we'll do same with these Trez. Come on, Trez, go away. Because I want to be able to see what I'm doing. Because if I can't, then I'm not going to do it very well. Like that. Just a few of these bad boys as well. Get out of here. There we go. I thought we'd finish this palaver the first time I did it, eh? But here we are again. Living the dream. And we're going to change the colour of it slightly as well. But, I mean, it's alright. Kind of works. The problem that we're going to have is the connections. So let's say we want that. We're going to struggle to curve it round off-road. We could curve it round on-road and run it over the top. Like that. But do we want that all the way to the airport? Don't know. We could. Maybe we'll just leave that for that as the time being. Obviously get rid of this choo-choo train track, because we don't need that anymore. Oh, how long are you? Well, that's what she said. Anyway, let's draw... Try and poke it out this end. And kind of just curve it a bit. And then try to run it alongside the road. Kind of like that in a way. That could kind of work. The amount of times I said kind of, you might kind of believe that it might kind of work. Just get rid of these trees quickly. I'm just trying to plan this out so that we don't have to do it again. Okay, right, let's see if we can do something with this road now, which might end up being something really ugly and horrendous like this. But it might work. And then we need to try and hook it in this end too. Give me a straight line, boy. Okay, not the prettiest junction in the world, but it will do. So it looks like one kind of road through. We don't really want people turning into there. We kind of want this to be a one-way. However, one-way alleyways are not my friend because people park on them, and I don't like it when people park on them. It upsets me quite a lot. So we might have to settle with that sort of design for now. We just need to like bar it up and make it look good, because it doesn't look good, basically. My worst enemy has risen. The see-through overlapping texture, which really upsets me. I despise it when it does that, and that's really, really upset me. What can I do about you? Oh man, come on. Okay, so we've got the placement for our Oh, that's a nice bit of lag for you all. We've got the placement for our nice new subway station, as you can see. It looks pretty nice, to be fair. I do like the colours and the brickwork. I've changed the colours to try and kind of match it with the theme a little bit. But it looks quite nice and it fits pretty well. You can see the slight changes by dragging out the surfaces, putting some plants and flowers between the main road and this sort of road, which looks okay, and then plenty of rocks and stuff to kind of break it up a little bit. I think it looks quite cool. I'm not displeased with that at all. That's all right. We obviously just need to decorate the main sort of plaza sections outside, which shouldn't be too much of an issue. So we'll crack on with that, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, let's have a little look at our train station to begin with. As you can see, there's a few decorations here, such as a little fountain with some benches around it, a couple of food spots for everybody to grab some munch before they go on whatever adventure they're going on, a few trees, a couple more stuff. Oh, I didn't realise these actually turn, that's pretty cool. And then down this end we just have a few more kind of water features and trees. Very exciting. It's looking pretty cool though. I quite like it. I might have to do something about this road though, because that ain't straight, son, and that's going to upset me. It looks pretty cool though from this end as well. All looks pretty fresh. And then our newest building you'll see just on the edge here, which looks again quite unique. This is actually a police station, which we desperately needed. You can probably see actually it's got a little Spanish flag. It's from the Spanish set, which looks pretty cool. It's a nice looking police station. We've extended out some pathways around the outside, as you can see, with a few bushes and trees within. And then we've added this parking area just on the edge as well. Basically to fill in the gap, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's looking pretty cool. Looking pretty cool indeed. Quite a nice looking area that we've got going on here. Looks good. Pretty happy with that so far. Obviously we've got loads to do still, but I would suggest that that's actually looking quite nice. If you don't like it just yet, just don't worry, just stick with the idea. I know it's very different than the old Palm Island, but all of our modern stuff will be over there and we'll have lovely resorts and all that stuff, and this is kind of just the original, the old town. So yeah, looks pretty good. We've kind of got this skeleton set out for our metro as well, our subway, which is overground, which is going to run up that road, which will be looking pretty cool indeed. And we've got a few spaces to fill around this kind of main sort of island bit that we've got going on here. Okay, so a couple of new additions. Oh my gosh, every time I go to record it goes laggy. A couple of new additions out the back here, as you can probably notice. So we've got a couple of new buildings, a high school, elementary school, another set of car parking, and then a sunken sort of plaza out the back here as well. Just a couple of random additions. I say they're random, they're not, we need them, but that kind of fills in the space pretty nicely, which is good to see. The next thing that I'm thinking of doing is, obviously we've got this space here which will kind of finish off this little section that we've got going on. I'm wondering if I actually use a couple of these building extensions to kind of fill in these gaps and make it like a nice walkable sort of park-ish area. I think that would be a bit of an idea, because then we can start working on housing elsewhere instead of putting some low density housing there. I think it kind of makes sense. So I might actually give that a go. We might end up adjusting this canal slightly, but we'll just take it as it goes, see what we can fit in and see what we need some help with. So let's go with this one to begin with. Quite a nice sizable building which could fit right on this corner here. Just like that. Let's have a look. Yeah, can't go wrong with that really. It kind of fit anywhere, that bad boy, wouldn't it? Not too bad at all. Good, right. Let's try for another one, shall we? So that's pretty much the same thing as the other one. So what about this one? Oh, maybe that, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that fits that slot better. I just don't know if we can adjust that to make it in line, because it's a no. We need to kind of do it ourselves first time, so that's that way. So I want that side to be right in line with that pedestrian crossing, which I would suggest that's probably in line, or as in line as we are willing to get it. Yeah, I'd say so. That's pretty in line if you ask me. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. Okay, so we've kind of finished off this central island sort of thing. Well, at least on the inside of it. So as you can see out the back, we've got these nice sub-buildings from the naval hospital. That's not a naval hospital, by the way. And then we just kind of create this nice sort of park area out the back with a nice cycle lane along the water. We've got a fountain here as well, which is pretty cool. It actually works. I am umming and ahhing whether to keep it, because I feel like my FPS has dropped massively since that started spurting out everywhere. But then we've got a few basketball courts, tennis courts, all that good stuff that you'd expect in sort of a park recreational sort of area. We've had to adjust the river slightly, as you'd probably guess, to fit all of this in, but nevertheless it looks pretty cool. We've got quite a nice looking central downtown sort of area there. Looks pretty good at the minute. Quite like it. Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Only thing is we don't really have any people. That's kind of a big problem, because you kind of need people for these places to kind of be worth anything. But yeah, let me just take a moment to figure out what we're going to do next. So in this space here, I thought it'd be quite a nice space to have a certain building, just because it's quite on the river. It's quite nice. It'd be nice to walk past and look onto as well. I think that would be quite a good idea. So the building that we're talking about is the Ventura City Hall. I know what you're thinking. Are you sure you don't have enough city halls in your city yet that doesn't even have people in it? Well, the 47 people have voted and they've said they want it. And I think it'd be quite cool to have kind of just on this coast here. The only problem is the road is facing outwards. Well, the correct way, obviously. So we're going to actually have to have a small road near it before we can kind of do anything with it. So let's say if we put that there, I just think that would be a cracking view. If we get rid of the things, if you're just over here cruising, you've got a whopping view of this beautiful building. I just think it'd be great. I just can't get enough of it. It's just a fantastic looking building. I think it just looked really, really good along the river. So, well, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to need a sort of alley road or something. Probably just like that. Maybe bring it out a little bit more. Why have you turned into a bottom? Why have you done that? First bottom I've seen in this game. Let's get rid of the bottom. There we go. Cool. Yeah, I certainly think the ladder looks quite cool. For some reason that's giving me like Florida Mansion vibes is what it's giving me, rather than anything else. But I think it looks pretty cool to have there. but we just need to kind of make it work, and we also need to make sure it's actually at a right angle. So I'm just gonna, that does seem to be fine. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick this road. I'm just gonna take it out to here to begin with, while we figure out what we're doing with it. Decisions. Don't know what to do. I'd quite like a little bit more grass out the front, something like that. Maybe. I don't see an issue. I don't really see a massive issue with that. It's just we need to kind of soften it a little bit as well. Looks a bit rough around the edges. It's like me when I haven't had a haircut. It just looks a little bit rough. But a little trim and it should look handsome as ever. There we go. Looks better. I think we're just going to rock it out again because, wow, kind of a theme now. So we don't really have much of a choice. So let's rock it out and see how it looks once we're done with it, eh? I don't know which one I'd rather live in, because this is quite a nice building. It certainly would be quite a cool house to have. Maybe a little bit too big. But this bad boy, looking pretty cool if you ask me. Nice underground parking, nice pool out the back. Nice terrace with a hot tub. What view would you get? You get a decent view of the old downtown as well. Maybe I'll have this house. Maybe I'll build my own house. Who knows? Looks pretty cool. You'll see that we've just made a few adjustments to the river, kind of stoned it out a little bit. Added a bike path out here, just kind of stenciling out what we want to do. We've upgraded these roads to tram tracks as well for when we do implement our trams. And now I'm trying to shall I start again and speak in English? Now I'm trying to decide whether I go up here and start with residential, or I go down here and start with whatever's going down here. I feel like here is the smarter move, because then it will make at least from the coastline, it will look a bit more complete. So I reckon that's probably the better move. So maybe we should do that, and then afterwards we can sort out the residential. I love that archway through there. Absolutely love it. Also, we got one more person. One single person has moved in here, which isn't that fantastic? Isn't it just great? We're really moving up in the world. But anyway, let me try and decide what I'm going to do next. So I've decided that I'm going to work down here, and this is a rather unique building, as you can see. This is actually a ferry terminal, and it fits our theme pretty well. I've obviously recolored it so that it does fit the theme, otherwise it wouldn't. But it looks pretty cool. It's quite a nice looking building. It's kind of presented in a way so that when you dock on the ferry you get a decent view of all of over there. So I'd say that looks pretty nice. We've got a few adjustments that we need to do and we need to make, so we will crack on with those. First thing is the actual sea. We want this to look less weird, so we're going to kind of adjust the sea a little bit, and then we're going to kind of smooth it out just so that with our boats and stuff it doesn't look too bizarre. So we'll do that, and then we'll kind of grab this and try and soften it out so it kind of looks a little bit more natural, I guess. It might not, but who knows. But that's going to be kind of our ferry path in, so we want it to be deep enough for those ferries to be able to do their thing. I mean, I think already that looks much better, doesn't it? Looks much more suitable for ferries, if that's what you want to call it. And then I might try and just peel this back slightly. See if we can... No, you actually can't. You can't, which is very strange. Because that clearly... That's a little bit annoying, isn't it? That is a little bit annoying. I don't know if there's a way for us to adjust that. I don't think there is. That's going to be a bit annoying. Because our ferries, you can see here, these are the ferry lines, and that one's quite, well, they're both quite far set back, but you can't do anything terrain-wise to have it not that way, I don't think. What about if we get rid of the road? What would happen then? Still the same story. That's a little bit frustrating, but it is what it is. We've worked around worse scenarios, I would say. We've worked around worse scenarios, so we're just going to have to kind of deal with it. I think that's quite a cool looking building, actually. I quite like the look of it. Who is the master behind this creation, I hear you ask? Standard. Always. Always. Come on, Joe, you're a beast. I hope it is Joe. That's how I pronounce it, because there's a lot of letters behind Joe. But nevertheless, you get the point. So I'm thinking that would be quite a nice building to have here. Maybe we'll have a marina or something similar here. Don't know just yet, haven't decided, so I'm going to pause the game and have a look. So I might have changed my mind slightly. Don't know if you can notice, but we've actually changed what we're doing completely here. Instead of that ferry port, we've now gone for Monana Terrace. That's definitely not how you say it, but here we are, having a great time. And I think this is a rather cool looking, unique building. Again, by McWelshman, because he's always on fire with these brand new assets. They look really cool. This is like an awesome thing. You come and sit here and you can, once the busy modern city is built, you can sit up here and have a gander. You can watch the cruise ships crash into the cruise port, and then you can also get a great view of the actual beach down below. But you might be thinking, what on earth is this? What is this? Well, there's only one way to find out. After the large storm hurricane that destroyed the island, when the villagers wanted to rebuild, they thought they needed some sort of protection. And when they realised that it was only this old church, which is now a museum, that survived, then it must have been the protector. Well, let's have a look, shall we? Oh yes, the big man himself has got a little spot in the city, and the locals say that this Christ the Redeemer keeps them safe from the storms and the waves, and it watches over the bay over here, over down onto the beach to keep everybody safe. And that's kind of the idea of what we're going with. So it's going to be at a slight angle, and it's going to be looking over onto the bay, just like that. Let me have a look. Blah, 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 blah. Looks all right. Just make sure it does look all right. Just take a closer look. Yeah, I think that's sat in there pretty nicely. Let's maybe look in photo mode so that we can get a proper look. I think that's pretty cool, actually. It's a unique sort of addition. It's very much like a tourist attraction as well, which is pretty awesome. And it kind of watches over that beach, which is so cool. Yeah, I like that. That's not too bad. What kind of view would you get if you stood over here with the Redeemer? Yeah, pretty decent view, to be fair. But he gets a better one up here. Yeah, he does. He does indeed. Let's get a bird's eye view. Wow. Got big hands, doesn't he? Pretty big hands. But yeah, I think that's a unique sort of addition to our coast and the island, and kind of showing that this area is a bit more traditional than the modern city that we'll be building in the future, but certainly looks really awesome Indeed. And it's just a nice little addition, nice unique thing. Another reason for the people to come here and visit. Looks very cool. Yeah, the city's coming together quite nicely. Well, technically this is probably a town, but we still need to fill in this space down the back here. So we're probably going to start working on that. Hopefully make this island, or this little section here, feel a bit more like complete rather than we've just dumped two things on it. So let's try and crack on. Well, I'm going to bring this video to an end, partially because I need a break, because I've been sat here for 7.5 hours and not achieved a massive amount. But also, I kind of want to do the residential all in one go, rather than just spamming it all down now all in the same video. So, yeah, this is what we built. It's very different. I would like to hear your feedback. I also want you to bear in mind when you give your feedback, we haven't set up any people, we haven't set up the transport, the services, all that stuff. So just bear that in mind before you start shouting at me in the comments, because this is nowhere near, well, it's not even started. We've got 47 people living here. So just think about that when you head over to the comments. But let me know what you think. I hope you understand the vision, and I hope you understand the fact that I needed something to change to be able to continue. But nevertheless, I'm excited to hear what you have to say. Thanks very much for watching. Good night.